What is going on? Welcome to Truth Wizard, or welcome back to Truth Wizard. Always good to have you. Always great being here. Thank you so much for joining. Today's show, we are going to take a look at some creepy TikToks. Got some weird weather. Also, a couple of TikToks that might be reinforcing the idea that we are, in fact, living in the Matrix, in a simulation, but it's because we are creating our own reality. That's what I tend to side and agree with. With that being said, I want to go ahead and zip it up. We're going to get started. Oh, but before we do me a favor, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. The button that says subscribe, that's the one you want to click. Okay, perfect. Now that you've done that, thank you so much. We can go ahead and begin.
Breaking. Birmingham. The city was suddenly bathed in a pink sky, giving the night an eerie, almost haunted feel. Residents looked up in confusion as an unnatural pink glow spread across the clouds. Photos and videos are rapidly going viral on social media, leaving many to ask, was it just the weather or something more mysterious?
Do you guys remember that? That was, I think it was like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. It was this past winter, so it was relatively recent, right? Sky was pink. I saw several videos of people, and by people I mean some news outlets saying how it was some stadium lights. There was some kind of a football game taking place. And by football, I mean in Birmingham in the UK, it's soccer for here. So they're saying it was stadium lights that turned what seems like a large portion of this town bright pink. A sports stadium, the lights. Can we stop with the ridiculousness? Can we, please? Let's go to this next clip, shall we?
It's not a filter. You are looking at very real images from down under on Friday. Don't worry, this is not a sign of the apocalypse as far as I know. The air was actually filled with dust ahead of a tropical storm. I would have run right back inside when I...
So, same situation, basically, same happenings, all the way across the realm, quite literally. One was in UK. This is in Australia. And this is from the dust. So a bright red sky is because of the dust. But then where it was snowing before, same exact look was from stadium lights. I really try to be level-headed, but Jesus Christ, they make it so damn difficult. I cannot be the only one that thinks it's a little crazy that bright pink sky was from a football stadium, the lights shining into the sky. And then this is from dust that the wind from a incoming tropical storm was kicking up dust. Do you see how crazy that is? And I guess so. Once again, I have to always say that because I am not all knowing. I really, really, really wish I was, but I am not. So yeah, I don't live there. I can't confirm that this was not, in fact, dust. Let's look at this one more time.
Saw that. It's not a filter. You are looking at very...
Dude, what the hell kind of dust produces that shade of just true, rich, bright red? That's a serious question. I would think maybe somebody knows. I do not know. I can look it up, but I'd rather task you with leaving me a comment. Do you know if this is legit? Will dust, or will certain types of dust, or will enough dust in the atmosphere actually create this insane shade of red? Please comment and let me know.
The first time I've actually been scared in my new house. This is mine and Rocky's bedroom. All right, so I was sitting here on the bed and I heard a really loud bang. This is the attic stairs. It's Nellie's room door. This is our upstairs bathroom. It's Vincent's door. Here's the 20 steps I gotta go down.
Did she say Vincent's door? Woman, you got a kid or somebody named Vincent in your house? You should be worried about no ghost. That is a gangster ass name, Vincent. God, man, that dude could freaking destroy you with some crumpled up aluminum foil. Let's hear that name one more time. Did I hear right?
It's Vincent's door.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, this guy, aluminum foil, crumple it up, and don't worry, Vincent's got your ass. Or you should worry because Vincent has got your ass. Got a problem with ghost? Hey, yo, Vinny. That's a gangster ass name. I love it. I wish my name was Vincent. Although I don't think Truth Vinny sounds very good, or does it?
Here's the 20 steps I gotta go down. I'm gonna have to push pause. I have to go slow because I still have my boot on.
Okay.
So thank you for down here all the way.
I was really wondering why she had to press pause to walk down some steps. So I'm glad she showed the boot. I'm sorry about your foot.
I'm freaking out. Okay. Nothing looks out of place here.
I am very excited that there's a chance some shit is about to go down in broad daylight.
Everything looks fine. It's one last place you haven't looked yet. nothing. There's nothing out of place. The boom was huge. Maybe it came from our neighbors next door? And I don't know. Oh, some of my sock clips. I just don't know. First time I've actually been scared.
I'm not sure where you're at with me and this channel, but if you have watched some videos about a month ago-ish, maybe a little over a month ago at this point, you would know how I feel about the occult and witchcraft versus mass taught and mass interpreted religion. This is so silly, man. And the fact that if you look into any of this, if you explore, and it's just people's assumptions of the topics, their ignorant assumptions is the worst part. They're not even that informed. They don't want to be that informed because they've believed that if you even look at it, you open yourself up to all this negative, evil stuff. I just cannot get on board with that. And here's the thing. I respect your decision to, you believe and practice whatever you wish. I just think that if you are thinking very logically and once again, very objectively from a neutral standpoint on things, I think people would start to kind of see some of the points that I'm making and others are making as well. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't buy into this. This is you're not practicing the occult or witchcraft by doing any of these things. Just my opinion. Once again, as I will always say, I very well could be wrong. I just don't see it that way. I see people being people and assuming that they are all knowing, or if they're not, assuming that they themselves are all knowing. People are people and they get the information from people that assume they are all knowing, and then the ordinary people put them on a pedestal and that person can never be wrong. And that's dangerous.
A closer look at this dirt. Have you noticed that someone is hiding in it? In fact, there's a 2-meter-long hungry crocodile.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Look how absolutely massive that thing is.
2-meter-long hungry crocodile lurking there. Crocodiles are real geniuses of disguise. They are able to wait for you literally in any puddle, and you will find out that he is there only after his attack. But there are creatures in nature with even more impressive camouflage abilities. Take, for example, the well-known chameleons. These amazing creatures adjust the color of their skin depending on the environment, all thanks to special chromatophore cells. I bet you'll never notice a chameleon in a tree if you don't know in advance that it's sitting there. Octopuses use a similar principle of disguise. Underwater, they masterfully blend into any landscape, be it a rocky bottom or coral reefs. But the real champions of camouflage are insects. Many of them are literally born with a shape that mimics the environment. Some species of mantises look exactly like flowers, which allows them to hunt bees unhindered. Other insects mimic the petals of plants, while others copy the branches of trees down to the smallest detail.
And some of those insects are very cool, but they kind of creep me out. They're creepy enough to where if one got on me, I would probably embarrass myself.
Closely, nothing moves, but something is watching. Those leaves aren't leaves at all. That's a perfectly camouflaged snake hiding in plain sight.
That couldn't be good for you. One more time.
Look closely, nothing moves, but something is watching. Those leaves aren't leaves at all. That's a perfectly camouflaged snake hiding.
That little guy right there would absolutely wreck your day. Probably wreck you for a few months if he didn't permanently, wreck you. You know what I'm saying? Damn. See, I don't mind snakes. They don't creep me out like the some of those insects and little buggies do, but Jesus, those things just look mean. And yeah, the camouflage, didn't even see it. I had no idea. I was looking everywhere but by that rock at the beginning of the video. Did you spot this thing right away? Here's the thing. I've seen these alien bodies before. I have not seen them in this state. This actually looks like a bunch of biscuit dough with fresh flour thrown on it, man. Like, it's like someone's grandma had she made too much dough for biscuits. So little Johnny made himself an alien and threw some of Granny's flour on it and, and lays it in a casket and calls his local news station. Is this not right? If that wasn't so blurry, hold on, we got to go back. We're going all the way. I'm sorry, I lied to you. We're not going all the way. Look at this, man. This is like the Pillsbury Doughboy was like extremely dehydrated, and they tried throwing flour on him to revive him. And yeah, this right here that I've done like 5 or 6 times, that's the international symbol for throwing flour. And now you know. However, this guy, what the hell is this? Okay, I see the head now. I'll tell you one thing, man. If you saw that for real, I don't know that many people would be able to keep filming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've said this also many times before. I'm a relatively, well, let me start over by saying this. I've been called a sturdy guy a few times in my life. And I'm not kidding. The word used was sturdy. Now, that being said, if I saw this thing in a backyard, in a parking lot, behind a sand dune, doesn't matter, sturdy or not, I don't know if I would have the manpower to keep filming. You know what I'm saying? And if I did, I would immediately need a clean pair of shorts. So before I start this clip here, I don't know what your tolerance is, what your attention span is, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is like a 6-minute clip. Okay. All right. So I want to give you a heads up, but I did vet like half of this clip and I think it's pretty damn good. So I think you'll get some value out of it. So it's 6 minutes, but stick around and just check it out.
So I've talked a lot about energy and vibration and creating your own reality, but today I wanted to talk a bit more about this, but put in some more visualizations to help you really understand this so you can take it in and start applying this to your life. Everything in this universe is energy, and all of this energy has its own unique vibrations. Our bodies are electromagnetic, and the energy that comes off is shaped in this donut shape, or called a toroidal field. So moving on to my sketch, I wanted to show you what an actual toroidal field looks like before I just sketched it out, because I would not be able to sketch that probably. But so there's not a clean break, like the quantum field isn't just up in the sky. Energy is all around you and it's all like in a big spiral. But in the quantum field, there is all of these different vibrations that are attached, that bring different outcomes if that's what you put the vibe out and attach to. And then at the highest vibration is God's source energy. So this is the highest vibration, but there's also all these levels of different vibrations that are still God's source energy, and that's what you can tap into. So when you hear the term highest timeline, like I'm on my highest timeline, or I want to get to my highest timeline, or I'm aligned with my higher self, that's what this means. You're just tapping into and vibrating out one of those high vibrational God source energy vibes. And when you're tapping into that high vibrational God energy, that space, you might receive, insights, what people call downloads. Your intuition might really be strong and on point, and you're just really getting, guidance from a higher power.
I tried. I didn't make it very far in, but I want to say one thing. If this resonates with you, I got to be a jerk here and just get a jab in. Keep in mind that according to Christianity, how it's taught to us, if you believe in this and this resonates with you and you think this to be true, this is punishable by hell to believe in this. No shit, like actually.
So your thoughts and emotions down here in reality, they are sending off a frequency or vibration, because each emotion has its own unique vibration. So it's sending off into this spiral toroidal field, and that spiral of energy is going out into the quantum field and attaching to outcome of the same vibration, and it's cycling back into your reality. And that's when something is manifested, and that's when just your reality is being created. That's why I keep talking about how you want to raise your vibration and giving ways to do that, because when you are putting off high vibrational emotions, it's going into the quantum field and attaching to high vibrational outcomes. So, and that's also why I talk about how you want to really get to know yourself. So if you're feeling more low vibrational, you catch it and you can shift yourself to be in a more high vibrational spot, because whether you know it or not, you're constantly creating your own reality through this process. If you've heard the term, you attract what you are, this is exactly what that, the mechanism behind that. You're putting off your own vibes, and that's what you, I guess, quote unquote, are at the moment. And that is pulling things of the same vibration back into your own reality. This is also related to when you hear people say you are your 5 closest friends. And usually they talk about it, telling people that you want to be around people you want to emulate or be like. That's not just because, their influence per se rubs off on you, it's vibrational also. Your vibrations are intertwining and they start to become like one another. But this is also good because you can keep this in mind. And if you are strong in your vibration and keep that high vibration, you can help impact others and help raise their vibration by being, a good influence. And well, it goes deeper than just being a good influence, but you get what I'm saying. But something to keep in mind along these lines is when you're hanging out with people, be aware of how you feel afterwards. Like, do you feel drained, or do you feel like uplifted? While it's good to, want to be a good influence on others and help raise others' vibrations too, you need to be, look at yourself and make sure you're having like good energy hygiene in the way that, you're not letting others really drag you down.
You got to keep in mind though too, she's right, but you can't help everybody. You just can't. And that's a problem. And I think when people are younger, that is something that you have in your mind. You want to help everybody. You want to solve these problems. You don't understand why the elite are the way they are. Well, how can these CEOs not donate all of their money? They could fix these problems by themselves. They could do that. Yeah. Sure. You're not wrong. I thought the same thing. This is not a special thought to me. This is not a special thought you had. This is just the way, unfortunately. But here's the problem. They don't do those things. Some of it is because, yes, they are selfish, sure. But some of it is because those people, they're not dummies either. Whether we like it or not, most of those people are not stupid, man. And they know that if they give all their money away to all these people, and they receive this money out of entitlement, not because they didn't earn it or even just deserve it, they're not going to appreciate that money, and therefore they're not really going to have helped that person. That person will learn no lesson. They're not going to dramatically, permanently change and enhance their life for the better. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a little bit negative sounding, and that's very broadly speaking, yes. So I cannot speak for everybody, of course, but that's for a large majority of people. Just like what she's saying, that's my analogy, is the same thing. You cannot help everybody. They have to want that help. You can give them your energy. You can tell them and show them the way. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So yeah, you could definitely end up spending a ton of your time and energy trying to help a person or persons, and they might bitch and complain and whine, oh my God, this is blah, 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 but they don't really want the fucking help. And then you will have wrecked yourself trying to help them. Don't do that.
Because if you're empathetic, that can really, really be draining. And you might have to really take some time to build yourself back up. So just be aware of this. So I just wanted to post this because I thought it was a good visual on understanding how it all works. And when I talk about high vibration and creating your own reality, I thought this may be helpful. This was helpful when I learned this. And just really realize, whether you know it or not, you're constantly creating your own reality. So that's why it's so important to actually do these things that raise your vibration, because it's not just your reality is happening to you. And if you want to change it, you can sit down and do this work so you can manifest specific things. No, it does not work like that. You're constantly creating your own reality.
So I will say, I do believe you can manifest things, maybe not ultra specific, but because you are creating and you can create, then you can manifest, you can bring things and attract them to you. It's not in the way that people think. And like, what was that book, The Secret, that came out a long time ago? Um, it was enlightening, and it was basically talking about this, but very, very, very surface level. But then it got so like cheesy at the end of that, man. I never forgot how corny it was. People were talking about, oh, I imagined, I'm kind of making this up, paraphrasing, but it's pretty close. Like, I imagined getting $400 and I checked my mailbox 2 days later and there was a check. Like, you don't think you were expecting $400, or someone may have sent that to you by accident, like, and you should return it, like, otherwise, how often does that really happen just out of the blue? Just poof, it doesn't. It very, very, very rarely. So you got to be careful, man, because there is a lot of corny shit and a lot of cheesy stuff in this, realm of speak here. But I really dig this, man, because this aligns with the idea that there is a thought field, a literal thought field, like a giant thought bubble above all of us. And depending on your mood and your frequency, how you're vibrating, our thoughts essentially are not all of our own original thoughts. We are intercepting these thoughts from the thought field. So how you are vibrating, where you are at, your frequency is going to determine what thoughts you intercept. So the lower you're vibrating, the lower your frequency, the more shit mood you're in. Of course, you're going to get a bunch of negative, nasty, bad thoughts. And even if you are surrounded by some type of good, maybe not an abundance of, but you've got opportunity, you've got some good things here for you, you're never going to see it. You're never going to acknowledge it. Everything will always be crap. It'll be garbage constantly. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. Otherwise, this video could end up being a lot longer than I want it to be, and a lot longer than you have the attention span for or care to hear me talk about the stuff. So we're going to save some more chatter about this for some later episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time here. Thank you for joining. If you made it to the end, I cannot thank you enough. I am so glad you did, and I'm glad you enjoyed it enough to watch the entire video, man. That is freaking awesome. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet and you are still here at this wrap up, you got to subscribe so you can keep on coming back and watching material just like this. This is what we're doing, man. We're talking about life, conspiracies, ghosts, UFOs, AI, a little religion. We're looking at it all. I promise you we're going to. So like, subscribe, come back and see me. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one.